Nothing But the Words, episode number 127, Why Writing a Book Feels Too Hard and How to Change That. Hey there, and welcome to Nothing But the Words. I'm your book coach, Candace L. Davis. I hope your week and your writing are both going exceptionally well, as always. Today, I want to talk a little bit about some of the ways you can make writing your book less arduous and more enjoyable. In fact, I'm going to give you one specific way, one specific tool you can use that works really, really well. Before I dive into that, though, I want to start with some celebrations. First, on the personal side, I am super thrilled to welcome a new grandson into the world, and I cannot wait to head up to New Orleans to pinch his little cheeks. JK, I'm not a cheek pinching grandmother, but I will actually spoil him. And my second celebration is that Nothing But the Words is celebrating 10,000 downloads. Like, that's a huge deal for me. It's a wonderful milestone for me, mostly because I did not see it coming. I am really a numbers person when it comes to statistics and measuring goals and things like that. But when it comes to the podcast, I'm not. So I had no idea where I was on the numbers. So I'm super excited about that. And it is really a celebration of you. Thank you for listening, for leaving a review, for sharing the podcast with a friend. Whatever you have done to help me get here, I appreciate it and I appreciate you. Last, I want to tell you that my group coaching program for nonfiction authors is having our bonus virtual writing retreat this Sunday, May 7th. I am celebrating this retreat in advance and I will celebrate it when it's done because it's one of my favorite events. Inevitably, writers get breakthroughs at retreats. They get breakthroughs at this retreat, and we get so much writing done. We will be writing from 9 a.m. until 2 in the afternoon for those who can stay for the entire session. And usually most people stay for the entire session. It's really worth it. I will be coaching in the chat for anyone who needs it while everyone else is writing. And we will have some live coaching between writing sessions. So it's not a workshop. We're not doing any teaching. It's mostly focused on getting writing done, but there will be some coaching there. And if you want to join us, this is the time to register for Authors Ignited. You register by Saturday, or if you register by Saturday, May 6th, I almost said Saturday Authors Ignited 6th. No, Saturday, May 6th, then you are in for the writing retreat. Find it at authorsignited.com. Now, let's talk about what makes writing a book seem too hard and how you can make it feel a bit easier. Now, let's be honest, writing a high quality book, it is work. But work doesn't have to be painful. We do work every day. And if you get to enjoy it, then it's not too hard. It's not painful. It's something you can even look forward to. Writing a book does not have to be one more chore on your ever-growing to-do list. Instead, sitting down to write can be the manifestation of your vision and your dreams. Who does not enjoy making their own dreams come true? I coach my clients to embrace the effort required to write an exceptional book. Shift your thinking. This is what we're going to talk about, how you can shift your thinking to believe you will get out of your book what you put into it, because that's the truth. So if you sit down and record some notes over a weekend and you call that a book, just slap it together between a couple of, the front cover and the back cover. That is not the kind of effort that creates greatness. If you want to write a book that moves people, affects people, has a positive impact on the world in some way, then you need to fall in love with the effort required to do that. When your brain tells you, I don't feel like writing, let's watch Netflix, you do not have to just accept that thought. You are in charge of your brain. Well, of course, you're not fully in charge of your brain, but we have influence on our brain. When you think it doesn't matter anyway, no one even knows I was going to write a book. When you have whatever thought is creating resistance in you, hit pause. You don't have to just believe whatever your brain tells you about your book or anything else for that matter. Instead, ask yourself, is this thought getting me closer to my goal? You got to be aware of the thought first, but then ask, is it supporting you in reaching your goal? And if it's not, then it's time to choose a new thought. Now, you don't have to try to come up with the most helpful thoughts in the moment. You can and maybe should prepare in advance for when that resistance comes up. One way to do that is to envision what your life will look like once you become a successful author. But stay with me here. The key to this method is to include in that vision not just the rewards of having written a book, the rewards of having your name on the front cover of a really high quality book, but also a vision for the process you will take to get there. Yeah, a vision for the work. So maybe you will keep fresh flowers in your writing room or your office. You will play your favorite instrumental music and write your 1,000 words a day until you finish your book. Perhaps that is part of your vision. Maybe you light candles and brew your favorite coffee or tea and hang a do not disturb sign on the door. I used to have one of those when I had children at home. Actually, my daughter created it for me, which made her much more invested and willing to honor it. So that's not a bad idea. Maybe you check into a hotel for a couple of days every month or every other month just to focus on your writing. Maybe you join a writing group or hire a book coach or take a writing class at a local extension program. Maybe you attend a couple of writing retreats, virtual like mine, or in the real world, so you can really focus without distraction. Now, in this vision, in this imagined world where you're becoming a successful author, go beyond just the doing and look at the thinking. What do you think about your book as you're writing it? How do you expect it to impact the world? What do you think about yourself as a writer or as an author? What thoughts motivate you to get up and write day after day? How do you feel when you sit down to write? How do you want to feel when you sit down to write? How do you want to feel when you're done writing for the day? Do you have regular writing sessions? Do you fit writing into pockets of your day or both? What do you do when you hit an obstacle in your writing? And what do you consider an obstacle? How will you respond when your writing is interrupted? How will you limit those interruptions? What milestones will you celebrate along the way, and how will you celebrate them? Write that vision of how you will do the work. And then write the vision for how your life will change once you become a successful author. And remember this, you have 100% control over that first vision. You can buy fresh flowers or pick daisies from the local park if you want flowers in your office. You can order gourmet tea or set up a coffee maker in your writing room. You can hire a coach. You can take a class. There are people and classes at every budget. There are probably even some free classes out there. You can get a new aerodynamic chair or a supersized beanbag, whatever floats your writing boat. Come back to this vision regularly as you write your book, but pay particular attention to the thoughts that you want to have, the thoughts that will support you, how you want to feel as you write your book. Becoming a successful author requires you to think differently than most people. Most people are never going to do it. You have to think more critically and more deeply about the topic or the story when you're writing it. And you have to think differently about the process of writing a book. Well, you don't have to, but it sure makes the whole process so much more pleasant. Writing a book requires effort, friend. If you're listening to this, you are probably a grown-up, so you know anything worth doing requires effort. But if you can fall in love with that effort, you will enjoy writing your book so much more. Writing a book is hard, but it's not too hard. Also, I owe credit for that phrase, fall in love with effort, to Maria Kerr. She's the artistic director of Tiny Pistol. It's a Bay Area dance company. I didn't come up with fall in love with effort. She did, and I love it. And one last reminder, if you want to join us for the virtual writing retreat and have an ongoing support from our writing community and me as your coach, join Authors Ignited by Saturday, May 6th. You can join us at authorsignited.com. That's all for this week's episode, my friends. Thanks for listening to Nothing But the Words. I'm your book coach, Candace L. Davis, and I'll see you next time.